In our initial reading about Dexter's, we kept reading that we could get away with about 1 cow per half acre. In our experience, this is completely useless. Here we get an average of 21 inches of rain with 42 inches of snow. That means we can get 1 cutting of hay, 1.5 rotations of grazing if we're careful and lucky, and the alfalfa stands can go for 2 cuttings. For that reason, we not only rotate our pastures, but also subdivide those with a temporary electric line. And we'll show you how we set that up today. One awesome benefit we've got is that all of our pastures are located around the central point of the barn, with lots of gates and opportunities to reshuffle the cows to each paddock. That also means we've got all our electric lines set up so that we can go from the same unit and either swing the leader line one direction to get all the lower fields and subdivide that, or the other direction to subdivide our front pasture. Now when we started, we only had 3 areas of pasture to rotate through. The 2.6 acres behind me here, the 1/4 acre up on the hill, and then a 2.3 acre parcel that we did hay and then fed the rest of the year. Now we only had 2 small cows and it worked okay, but now we have 4.5 cows and we need a little bit more space. So we've added a 1.1 acre cutoff that we can use on the backside. Later in the year, this will allow us to use the lower 1.3 acre section of that after we've hayed it off as well. This was usually just a hay field because the fences weren't very good. So we're repairing all the fences, making it so that we can put the animals on the hillside for pasture, since I don't dare get my tractor up there. As you can see, Heather's working on the fences and the kids are racing down the hill. We've got their grandma here visiting, and we've put her to work putting up fences too. So about a week ago we pulled the cows off this small plot that we had divided for them and moved them to the next rotation. That one's about done too, and so we're going to move them down to the front pasture, and that means we need to divide it up with some electric fence. Down to about here is where we had them last. That was about a month ago, and we tried to pull them off when it got down to around an average of 4 or 5 inches tall. And now we do have some good growth coming back in, but we're going to let that rest a little longer, and we're going to move them to the first part of this lower area, right up against the barn, the hillside here. We'll see how long this lasts. That probably won't be long, but we find that if we confine them to smaller areas, they eat much more thoroughly. They don't just leave the weeds behind. Anxiously awaiting their new pasture. We mow down right below the bottom line. The water isn't great, so our grounding isn't great, and our ground rods aren't great, so we can't afford to lose anything with shorting out. We also are trying to use our electric fences more effectively. We started with the electric fence last year, but didn't allow enough recovery time for anything to grow back, and it was a bad dry year. We'll see how it goes this year. All right, so here we are 1 week later. They have eaten down this section that we put off quite well. So we're going to just go ahead and move that electric fence back a little bit and give them a new fresh 30-foot strip to work on. Taylor, are you helping? All right, that only took about 15-20 minutes, and this one's ready to go. We don't usually do the small increments like this because we're lazy, but in this case we decided to go for it. It was easy enough to cut over and not really extend the fence too much. Now all this is really thrown off by the fact that we milk, and so we have to separate cows at 12 hours anyway. And so now that the herd is 1 pregnant mom just about due, 1 mom in milk, 1 calf that's milking, and another calf that likes to steal milk even though he's weaned, our separation paddocks are a little bit messed up right now. All right, so the last step is just to clip the pastures a little bit. There are still quite a few weeds that the cows have left that you can see sticking up here and there. And so I'm gonna set my bar. I don't wanna go all the way down because I don't wanna lower the grass anymore. So we'll float the bar a little bit. So let's go ahead and get cutting. Engage the sickle. Saddle up. Alright, so today we had a calf born, brought a cow who couldn't get pregnant to the vet, found out that she's got cysts, she's pulled an acre of weeds, and I'm trimming this and we've got a new pasture set, so overall I'd say a pretty decent day off of work.
Oh shoot! Sangria!
Hi, I'm Simon.
And I'm Heather, and we call this Cozy Cow Farm.
We're not really farmers.
But I'm a farmer.
We just bought the farmhouse with the land,
Got some chickens.
then we added some cows. And we're still trying to figure out what we're doing. So subscribe to join us on our journey of trying to learn this.
Or comment and let us know what you'd like to see.